We had a question early on in the chat, Ryan, about how one would get paid, and then if they would want to decide to potentially like leave or withdraw funds. Can you walk through kind of what that looks like today at a high level?
Yeah, I'd say the best example is really we're trying to make Arrived near what would happen if you were to, buy a home on your own from a economics perspective. So what happens is we place each home into an LLC. When you invest, you become a limited member of that LLC, and that protects your personal liability, but it gives you basically the access to any of the rental income after expenses and any property value growth. And so if you purchase, 1% of the property, then you'd have access to 1% of the rental income after expenses. Right now, we pay those out as dividends on a quarterly basis. So you can expect to receive that quarterly. We're working on increasing that to monthly this year. So more to come there. And then the other side is property value growth. So as the properties go up in value, we are on a quarterly basis looking to update the share prices. So the price per share to reflect essentially the new value of that property. And then over time, there's a couple of ways that you might get liquidity. So when we're buying properties, we're buying with a long-term, investment horizon in mind. That's really what has worked best in real estate over time, is to, make sure that you're investing for the long term. So we go in with a 5 to 7 year investment period in mind for each of these properties at least. And so, one option is to hold for that period and to give time for, increased dividends, increasing property value growth, and then ultimately, the property be sold, and you would get the proceeds proportional to how much you invested. The other is that we're working on different options for liquidity for your shares on Arrived. So the first version of that is essentially what is called a redemption program. But the way that it works is more of like a buyback program. So 4 times per year, once per quarter, Arrived at the new share price would, effectively buy or redeem the shares at that price, and then we'd resell them back in the market to kind of help support that periodic liquidity. Over time, we'd like to create more of a secondary market as well over the next year, where investors could buy and sell directly from each other, and you could make a bid offer on other investors' shares, and that's really where we're headed. But it's kind of a step process of getting there.